Marcus Hill had lived in the same quiet neighborhood in Arizona for 14 years. He paid every HOA fee on time, never missed one. So when he opened his front door at 6:42 a.m. and saw a giant red violation notice taped across it like a crime warning, his stomach dropped instantly. Not because of the notice, because 3 people were already standing across the street filming his house. And one of them was smiling. Marcus looked closer. It was Denise Carter, the new HOA president. Arms crossed, coffee in hand, watching his reaction like she'd been waiting all morning for this moment. "Are you serious right now?" Marcus muttered, ripping the notice off the door. His wife, Rachel, walked up behind him holding their 6-year-old son's backpack. "What happened?" Marcus read the paper again, slower this time. Property non-compliance warning. Unapproved structure. Immediate action required. Rachel frowned. "What structure?" Marcus looked toward the backyard fence. Then his chest tightened. Their late father's wheelchair ramp. The same ramp they built 8 months earlier after Marcus's dad suffered a stroke. His father had died 3 weeks ago, and now the HOA wanted it removed within 48 hours. Rachel whispered, "They know your dad just passed away." Marcus didn't answer. Across the street, Denise lifted her phone higher and kept recording. That was the moment Marcus realized this wasn't about a ramp. This was personal, and it only got worse an hour later. Because by 8 a.m., 2 HOA compliance officers showed up with clipboards, cameras, and a city parking officer behind them. Marcus stepped outside immediately. "You people couldn't even wait until after the funeral flowers were gone." One officer cleared his throat awkwardly. "Sir, we're only responding to multiple neighborhood complaints." Marcus looked around. Curtains moved. Neighbors were watching. Nobody spoke. Then Denise finally walked over slowly in bright pink heels like she owned the entire street. "You've ignored the community standards for months," she said calmly. Marcus stared at her in disbelief. "That ramp was for my disabled father." Denise shrugged. "And now it's lowering property value." Rachel's face changed instantly. Marcus saw it. That comment hit harder than the violation notice. Rachel stepped forward. "You know he died less than a month ago." Denise gave a fake sympathetic smile. "And I'm very sorry for your loss. But rules are rules." Marcus clenched his jaw so hard it hurt. Because this wasn't the first time Denise targeted them. Ever since she became HOA president, she complained about everything. Their pickup truck, their basketball hoop, even the small American flag Marcus kept near the garage. But today felt different. Today felt like she wanted a public scene. And she got one. Because while the officers photographed the ramp, Denise loudly announced, "This neighborhood used to look respectable." Marcus heard gasps from nearby driveways. Rachel looked humiliated. His son Tyler quietly asked, "Dad, are we in trouble?" That nearly broke him. Marcus knelt beside him immediately. "No, buddy. We didn't do anything wrong." But honestly, for the first time in years, Marcus wasn't sure anymore how far Denise would go. Then the parking officer suddenly walked toward Marcus's truck and placed a bright orange sticker on the windshield. Marcus blinked. "What is that for?" The officer looked uncomfortable. "Vehicle violation notice." Rachel whispered, "Oh my God." Marcus looked at Denise again. She smiled. A slow, satisfied smile. That's when Marcus finally understood. This wasn't about rules. Denise wanted to push them out of the neighborhood completely. And by sunset, she would make a move so extreme. The entire street would turn against her. By 5 p.m., the story had already spread through the neighborhood Facebook group. Pictures of Marcus's house were everywhere. Someone had uploaded photos of the red violation notice. Someone else posted close-ups of the wheelchair ramp, like it was evidence from a police investigation. And Denise? She was replying to comments personally. Standards protect property value. No exceptions. Rules apply to everyone. Marcus sat silently at the kitchen table reading everything on his phone while Rachel tried to keep Tyler distracted in the other room. Then his phone buzzed again. Another HOA email. He opened it, and his face went cold. Final notice. Failure to comply may result in forced removal and daily fines. Rachel saw his expression instantly. What now? Marcus turned the phone toward her. She covered her mouth. They can't be serious. But they were. Because at exactly 6:12 p.m., a white HOA contractor truck pulled up outside the house. 2 workers stepped out carrying tools. Rachel froze near the window. They actually came. Marcus walked outside immediately. "You're not touching that ramp." One worker looked uncomfortable. "Sir, we were told the structure was approved for removal tonight." Marcus laughed angrily. Tonight? Without court approval. Before the workers could answer, Denise appeared again, still dressed perfectly, still holding her phone, still recording. You were given multiple warnings, she said. Marcus stepped toward her carefully. My father used that ramp to enter this house before he died. Denise replied coldly. And now it's an eyesore. That sentence changed everything. Because this time, the neighbors heard it clearly. Real clearly. A silence hit the street. Then an older man from across the road finally spoke up. Denise, that's enough. Others started walking outside too. A woman Marcus barely knew shook her head in disgust. You told us this was an abandoned structure. Another neighbor added. You never said it belonged to his disabled father. Denise's confident expression cracked for the first time all day. You people don't understand. No, Marcus interrupted quietly. We understand perfectly. More phones came out. But now, they weren't filming Marcus. They were filming Denise. The same woman who spent months acting like the neighborhood dictator suddenly looked nervous. Rachel stepped outside holding Tyler's hand. Tyler looked at the ramp softly and said, Grandpa needed that to come see me. Nobody spoke after that. One of the contractors slowly placed his tools back into the truck. We're leaving, he muttered. Denise turned sharply. You can't leave. The board approved this. But the workers ignored her completely. And for the first time since morning, Marcus finally felt the pressure shift. Neighbors who stayed silent for months suddenly started talking all at once. About Denise. About selective enforcement. About harassment. About how she targeted certain families while ignoring everyone else. An elderly veteran near the corner pointed toward Denise and said, You should be ashamed of yourself. Denise's face turned red instantly. Then she stormed back toward her car while half the street watched silently. No applause. No yelling. Just humiliation. The kind she tried to cause someone else. Marcus looked around the neighborhood slowly. Same houses. Same street. But something had changed. People finally saw the truth. And that red violation notice taped to his front door that morning? By the end of the night, it became the very thing that exposed Denise to the entire community.